you can run your idle. This is by default. يعني it's given in your when you install your Python. The second option إنه you install another IDE. So I recommend Jupyter or Developer Studio. Why? Because it's more convenient. You will see later on it's more practical to use other IDE. بطبع كلمة IDE, the word IDE means integrated development environment. It's a development environment because you will write in this environment, but when you compile, you will run. When you click on the button run, in reality, you will call Python installed in your computer. So you can use idle, this one, okay? Or you can use another IDE, another integrated development environment. Now I would like to come back to two main things. I'm gonna write them in the next slides to you, and I will send you also in parallel the continuity of the chapter 2 for the environmental aspects. When you use the command while, so I'm gonna send you this in my slides. So while a true condition, I'm gonna put it like this. While true, you will do 2 points. You will do طبعا هنا you have a certain shift like this. يعني you have to be inside the loop. Imagine you have another loop هنا. يعني you have a double while. You need to shift again. يعني to be inside the loop. To be inside the loop, you should be by obligation. And when in my paint, imagine I'm gonna write while condition 2 points, and you enter and you come here like this, okay, and you write I don't know task 1 or task 1 تحتها بالضبط task 2 أو action 2 task 3. You want to leave this loop, you should do enter and you get يعني all these tasks inside the loop should be here هنا. يعني this is your limit وانت هنا. تمام. Same thing if you are working with the loop for example for I don't know, for example you want to do something for I going from 1 to n, or for example you have a list and you want to go through all the elements of this list. For all the elements in this list, do the following. So you're gonna do for I'm gonna make it in black, and let's make examples for this. So for example, imagine for example I in range, this is a function range, in range for example 0 10. تمام. فالاي هتاخد قيم 0 1 2 الى حد 9. I'm gonna show you this الى حد 9 من صفر. دائما كده يعني انت هذه ممكن تجربها. You can try to know exactly. So for if you have a certain of actions to do or tasks to do, you do your shift or your space and you should be inside the loop for. تمام. هو اصلا بمجرد from the moment you put 2 points enter هو حيرجع مشفت by default. تمام. تسمى indentation. فهنا you will write for example your task 1, task 2 like this, etc. Imagine the task 3 is here. This task 3 is outside the loop. خلاص انت خرجت من اللوب. يعني في حقيقة الأمر اللوب will be يعني the loop 4 will be applied only to these elements only. تمام. This is mainly, and these two loops are important. But طبعا you can implicate two loops. Imagine, for example, I have a matrix. I want to measure, for example, this is what we're gonna do later on. Imagine I have a series of points, and I would like to measure the concentration of a pollutant in each point of a grid. تمام. I'm gonna say the point with the coordinate xi, yg, have a concentration of pollutant Cig, and I build the matrix Cig. So in my loop, I'm gonna do for I going from 1 to n, from j going from 1 to m, for example. Cig, the concentration of the pollutants at the point Cig, is defined as, and you give the formula for this. Okay, and you can have more than two implicated loops. Okay, now I would like to, yes. Yeah, I'm gonna show you what. Hey. وين؟ I'm gonna show you this. Look. In reality, range is a class apart. Look, for example, imagine I define a variable a, and I'm gonna say, is it visible to you? Should I shut off the light, or is it? Like this is better? So imagine I write a equal to range 0, 13. Okay? So I'm gonna define my a like this. So if I click a, this is a. If you ask the type of a, he gonna tell you that a is of class range. But one of the options that I can have in Python is to convert a in list. I can write, for example, b or a. Even I can overwrite a. I can write, for example, b is equal to list of a. So he will convert a to a list. This is b now. Because list can be listed directly. If you have something like range, it's used in general for big sizes, etc. I can also define a variable x as range, for example, from, for example, 10 to 0 with a step -1. I don't know. I think it gonna works. This is your x, and if you write, you can overwrite x. X is list of x. I can do this, and this is my x. So 10, 9, 8. Taba, I can define y like this. I can choose my increment or my decrement. If I use -2, I can do it like this, and or maybe list. I'm gonna do it like this. List of directly, just to have the result. I don't need it. -2, for example. Okay. So if I do the list of this, these are my results. 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. هذا سالب -2. Good. You start from. انت بديت من 10 هنا ونزلت، وهنا بدلت من 0 وصعدت. I can define also a variable y as a range going from range from, for example, from -15 to 10 with an increment of 3. You can do this. If you do this, let me define it as a list, just to be more visible. Certainly, it's practical to work with a variable as range, but just to show it easily. So this is my y. So it's starting from -15 until. Can I start like this, for example? minus 15.3. I'm gonna try it with you. No, it doesn't work because you work with the range. Okay, لكن the good news is that when I'm gonna show you later on the different libraries we use in practice. يعني Python becomes strong when you use the mathematical libraries. So mainly you have very well-known libraries. You have the library NumPy. So when you use this library, the library, we're gonna talk about this later. The library NumPy. This is a mathematical library to work with matrices, etc., etc. So if you define a variable, سواء matrix or vector as a NumPy, you can increment even with a real value 0.1. I won't start from 0 to 10 with an increment of 0.1. You can do it, no problem. It will work. Or I can decrement. But in range, you use it with values, and you can. Your colleague told me that yeah, you can use artificial intelligence. For me, it can guide you to give you. For example, you can use ChatGPT to ask about, for example, conditions to use the function range in Python, for example. So the tool will gives you, so he will give you exactly the start stop step. وهنا you have an information. Okay, so this is the starting value, the ending value, the increment, the default is 1, and these values normally we can ask about should the starting value be integer or integer. Okay, so yes, the starting value for range should be indeed in integer. لكن لو استعملنا NumPy library and you define an NP array, an array is vector, this array can start with a real value, and we're gonna talk about this. We have also another library we're gonna talk about it because it's util for you. It's called matplotlib. Matplotlib, and another one called Seaborn. هنا اللايبرري بالنسبه للحسابات الماتريسز وكذا. We have a library, very well known library called pandas, and for plotting we will use. So I would like you to be good in this at the end of this course. If you are good in this, sorry, I'm gonna enlarge this. أو ممكن like this دقيقة. This is data manipulation, وهنا اللي تحت هنا plotting or data visualization. So mainly these are my main library. With those my libraries, by the way, in data manipulation you can also have libraries like statistics and other libraries. Like already in NumPy you will find a lot of things that exist in the library statistics. What we would have in library statistics. We will have the variance, the covariance, and also most important library, the library math. So we need the library math. Okay, the math library in the math library you have a lot. So you call it, like you open a folder, you call it, and you will create your own libraries later on, inshallah. If you practice a lot, you can create your own library. I can show you how to do it. It's easy. You create the library as you create functions. We're gonna talk about this. this for visualization, how to draw your functions, سواء 2D functions or 3D functions. And you can even save animations. Imagine you have a structure with something bending. You can create different snapshots and collect them to create this movie. It's possible using Python because it's so I'm talking about classical mathematics, but you can also use other libraries for video processing, for artificial intelligence, etc. You have a lot of libraries. Okay, so like TensorFlow or anyway, when you need a library, you can ask about it. So and you can Google it, or I would like to continue this. So why I'm talking about the function range? Because in general, if I have a loop, if I want to create a loop, maybe I need to do this. For example, I would like to take an example. Imagine this is a new script. I'm gonna try to I'm gonna save it as last time we saved our results in classwork. Okay, I'm gonna call it classwork 2. Okay, so here last time we did this classwork 1. So we talked about while. I don't know what I'm gonna continue here. So in my exercise 4. I'm gonna define, do an exercise with while, okay? While. And we talked about this exercise. I told you that in the past, one of the ways how to calculate square 2, no, but this will not gives you square 2. This will give you this will give you 2, because x minus 2 squared equals 0. صح ولا لا؟ equal 0. الجذر تبعها ايش؟ 2. ما هو جذر 2. Okay. I would like to calculate لأنه هذه this succession will converge into. But let me start by simple things, okay? So imagine maybe what is the example we defined here. I would like to take an example. Anyway, even without this example, I would like to. What is the? Okay, imagine, for example, I'm gonna define a list of value x in range, for example, from 0 to 22. I'm gonna take. Yeah. In range 0 to 22, for example, and I would like to know when I reach 10, for example. Okay, so or maybe I can use an input. So for example, my input, I'm gonna call it A, and this input, maybe it's integer or maybe it's float. I can take it as an integer just to simplify the things. So I'm gonna say that this is the integer of input. I can do it like this, or I can write input وبعدين احوله integer. يعني لن نختلف لانه تحدثنا فيه. Input, for example, enter a value of or enter an integer value. تمام؟ يعني مو لازم يكون عنده وظيفة مرة مهمة السكريبت، بس just to practice the loop while. and okay, so I'm gonna close it here. So when we will do this, if you run this, you will have the following. Okay, وين بقية الدش. So if you run it, you have the following enter value, for example 15, and now if you look, you will find that a is 15, but it is a string. So I'm gonna convert it to real. I can overwrite a, one of the ways, or I can define b as integer of a. It's up to you to do this. For example, I can do this. تمام. بالطبع اذا انت مدخلك ما هو صحيح هيطلع لك ايرور. يعني مثلا لو انا عندي 15 الان سويت كده، لو كتبت a الان a is an integer، يعني لو حطيت له type of a هيكون في هذه الحاله integer. اوكي، ليش؟ لاني سويت conversion هنا. ماشي. I would like to now to ask to see what are the values that are less than 15 in my list. What is my list? خليني print x. This is x ولا لا؟ I can do this. I can do this. So for example, when you run my script, I enter for example 14. تمام؟ هنا بيديني كم؟ range. I can print the list of the values of x. Okay, run. For example هنا 14. Okay, this is my a. وهنا result is for x. I can also write it in a different way. The values, I can write it as a string like this to be more the values or the elements of x are. واجي هنا احط for example x يساوي كده، واجي احط هنا format دوت format، وانه الفاريبل اللي انا ابغى اظهرها هي x. تمام. So if I run this، ماشي، enter value for x 10. This is for a. لسه ما سوينا بيه شيء. the values of x are x يساوي هذه القيم. ماشي. انا ابغى اسوي print الان لكل القيم اللي اصغر من x. تمام. يعني حسوي شيئين. I would like to introduce also the if. I can do it with or without if. فأنا هقول له هنا هنا it is better. I'm gonna save it as a for loop. هنا it is better to use for. I'm gonna save it as a for loop. Exercise 4. I'm gonna say the following: for a counter. تمام. x أو k in a in x if k is less than if k أصغر من a نقطتين print k. تمام. تمام. شوف هنا كل ما اسوي نقطتين هو بيسوي اندنتيشن بصفه آلية، يعني بيشفت بحيث انه يحطك داخل اللوب. تمام. if I run this script ممكن اقفل هذه اعيدها حتى ما. if I run this script مثلا اخذ قيمه 10. تمام. نظريا انا الفيكتور اللي عندي كم فيه؟ من 0 الى يعني ال 21 صح؟ ماشي. يعني نظريا حيديني القيم 0 1 2 3 4 صح؟ الى 9 لانه حطيت اقل ستريكتلي، مو اقل او يساوي. فهذه هي القيم اللي حطها لكم. لكن ايش حطيت؟ حطيت له كونديشن اف ترو اوكي، اف نوت ترو. واضح؟ ماشي. واذا ابغى احسبهم انا هذه القيم، اذا ابغى احسب كم عندي element، يعني لنفرض كده عندنا، شوف شباب، انا مش هاخذ اكس الان، هغير التمرين. تمام، هغيره. هذا التمرين اوكي از وركينج. تمام. ايش يسوي؟ انت بتدخل اكس في رينج 0.22، يعني لو تشوف اكس قيمته هي هذه قيمته، او احط ليست اوف اكس، هذه القيم الموجوده في اكس من 0 ل 21. ايش قلنا له احنا هنا؟ قلنا له في اي element 4k عداد 4k in x، يعني الكي هذه كل مره حتاخذ قيمه في اكس. المره الاولى حتاخذ صفر، بعدين حتاخذ واحد الى حد 21. اذا كي اقل من a ايش هو اللي ادخلناه هنا؟ تمام. كم قيمته احنا ادخلناها؟ 10 مثلا. فايش هيسوي؟ حيجي من اول في الاول يلقى صفر اقل من 10، فيحط يسوي برنت لصفر، بعدين واحد، بعدين اثنين، بعدين ثلاث، الى ان يصل 9. اذا تبغى تضيف القيمه 10 لازم تحط اصغر او يساوي، صح؟ فبتيجي هنا تحط اصغر او يساوي. فif you run this again، مثلا لو حطيت 10 الان حيظهر لك العشر. ليش؟ لانك انت في البرنامج غيرت هنا هذه الجزئيه الصغيره، قلت له اصغر او يساوي اف كي. شفت كي ان اكس يعني هو سيمر بكل قيم اكس. القيم لو حبيت تسوي عداد ممكن تستعمل ان رينج. تمام. الان ليش سويت هذه المساله وسويت ترى 4K ان اكس، ترى مره هذه قويه، لان في لغات البرمجه الاخرى ما هي موجود بهذا الشكل، لانه هنا هيز جيسنج ذا elements، ما هو يعني ترتيبهم في شو اسمه. يعني مثلا لو كانت عندي هذه مو كده، تخيل عندي اعداد رعوانيه ما هي مرتبه. تمام. يعني مثلا انا عندي 0 13 الا 2 الا 4 الا 1.7 5 قوه 5 ملايين 5 اي 6. تمام. 3000 او 23.247 12.05 الا 40 111. هذه قيم ولا لا؟ صح؟ ماشي. البرنامج الان I'm gonna input the value. I'm gonna هذا حسوي له save as exercise 4.1 او 4.2. تمام. يعني فيرجن 2 حتى يكونوا منفصلين. انا ما هرفع لهم هذا كله بعدين. ماشي. ايش حيسوي هنا؟ this is my x. so يعني I don't need to do لا رانج ولا شيء، مباشرة يعني. صح؟ random module enter a value any value 2.5. تمام. ايش سوى هنا؟ سوى خطأ. ليش؟ اقول لك ليش. لانه هنا الاكس هي اوريدي ليست، ما يحتاج اعرفها از ليست، هي از اوريدي ليست. فبحط فورمات مباشرة اكس والان تمشي. ها if you put 2.5 now ايش المشكلة؟ a int of a no هنا الاي لانه 2.5 فحطه فلوت. تمام. sorry so if you run it 2.5 اوكي. شدالك من هذه القيم كلها، ادالك القيم الاصغر من 2.5 هي 0 الا 2 الا 1.27 الا 40. مو لازم تكون مرتب. تمام. هو حيشوف الاليمنت ويقارن الاليمنت. في طريقه ثانيه نسوي نفس هذا التمرين، انه مثلا اقول له اوكي انا ما ابغى اكتب البرنامج بهذا الشكل، ابغى اكتبه بطريقه اخرى. اقول له ببساطه انا ابغى ان كم طول الفيكتور اكس؟ طول الفيكتور اكس هستعمل فانكشن length of x، صح؟ ممكن استعمل do it like this for m او n small n. تمام. in the range 0 n. ايش الرانج 0 n؟ هي 0 1 2 3 حتى ال n minus 1. تمام؟ هذه هي الرانج، هي في حقيقة الامر، لكن هو فورمات. لو حولتها ليست حتجيك 0 1 2 3. ها شوف، ملاحظه هنا I can comment، حسوي كومنت كده البرنامج كومنت، يعني هذه حتشوفها انت ديازه دي، انت حتشوفها والبرنامج مش حيشوفها، حيصفها. تمام؟ كانه اتس كومنت. الهاشتاج if you run it مثلا انتر فاليو اوكي 2.5. تمام؟ هذه القيم لانه انا الاكس عندي كده، لكن قيمه الان كم تساوي؟ 9، لانه كم قيمه عندي؟ 0 1 2 3 4 5 ويني؟ 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. بس انا بتحسب بالصفر. لا هذه 9 قيم، 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9، بس انا حسبت صفر الى، لانه هو بيحسب بهذا الشكل. لانه لو قلت له ايش اكس اوف 1 هيقول لك ايش اكس اوف 1؟ 13، لانه يبدا يحسب من الصفر. الماتلاب مثلا ما يحسب من صفر، الماتلاب يحسب من واحد، يحسب زي الرياضيات. هو اصلا ماتلاب ماتريكس لابوراتوري، هو نفس ترى السنتاكس هذه بس تختلف شوي، يشبه بعضه كثير. ممكن انا اسوي بهذا الشكل، اقول له استنى عاد انا ما يعني الرانج هذه شفتها، الرانج اوف 0 ان، يعني هي في حقيقه الامر احولها ليست اوف رانج اوف 0 ان. ايش حتجي؟ تجي كده دقيقه، هشيل هنا 9 هذه، حتجيك كده من 0 الى 8. عداد هو رانج يبدا من 0 لان، الان 9، رانج 0 9 كم؟ 0 1 2 3 الى 8. صح ولا لا؟ دائما الفيكتور اللي حيصنع من 0 لان مانيش فاهم.
حطيت مثلا من 1 الى ان،
ها؟
اللي هو من 1 الى ان،
لا ما يطلع لك. ها
انت صفر دكتور بس تبدله الواحد.
انا فاهمك، حيطلع لك من 1 ل 8 دائما، من ستارتنج فاليو الى الاند فاليو ماينس 1 او ماينس شو اسمه ستيب، يعني اذا عندك ستيب. ها تمام؟ لو حطيت له من 2 حيبدا لك من 2 ويوصل ل 8، دائما من ستارت الى ان ماينس 1. تمام؟ الان انا ايش حقول له هنا لما استعمل لوب فور حقول له نقطتين فور ان، يعني هنا الان حتاخذ القيم 0 1 2 3 الى 8. حقول له اف، وهنا تختلف طريقه الكتاب، اف اكس اوف ان اصغر من A، هنا بستعمل الاكس اوف ان، الاكس اوف العداد، لانه انا عندي عداد ان هنا. تمام؟ اكس اوف ان ايش يسوي؟ يسوي لي برنت اكس اوف ان. تمام؟ يعني القيمه، لانه الان هنا عداد، بستعمل الفانكشن رانج عداد. تمام؟ if I do it دقيقه هنا حاجي في هذا المكان واحط له برنت كده، برنت ملاحظه اخرى، اذا استعملت برنت وبديتها بكابيتال مش حيقبلها، لازم تكون سمول. انا لونها اتغير. برنت حسوي احط ستارز، مجموعه ستارز كده، فقط لما تجي بعدين يعني when you print your result هنا اسوي كده. حاجي هنا احط method 2. تمام؟ الطريقه الثانيه I run my program. تمام؟ enter value 3 او 13.2. الطريقه الاولى اللي هي مباشرة أنت تتنقل على القيم for k in the list أو the matrix اللي عندك. والطريقة الثانية إنك you calculate the length of your vector وتقول له for k in the range of كذا الإليمنت رقم كذا كم يساوي الإليمنت الموجودة، لأنه لما تكتب كده k x of n هو الإليمنت of x اللي في الخانة n، والخانة تحسب بصفر 1 2 3 إلى n. واضحة الفكرة ولا لا؟ ماشي. خلينا نجرب حاجة ثانية، مو لازم تكون حسابات مرة معقدة. بس كان ودي أنا إيش؟ خلينا I make a small pause. We can use شو اسمه أو حتى في إكسل. خلينا نشوفوا إكسل. أنا بعرف اللي أنتم عندكم ثقة في إكسل أكثر مني، بس عشان كده أنا I'm gonna start with Excel. I'm gonna run. Okay, it's running. This is my Excel. So the natural logarithm of 2 هو هذه القيمة، حتى نكون مع بعض. وحطوا 8 أعداد بعد الفاصل أنا. تمام؟ إيش هو؟ equal to وينه؟ log this one صح؟ determine the logarithm of a number in the base you specify. أنا أبغى وهذا ln هو natural logarithm ln of 2. تمام؟ this is ln of 2. لا تمشوا ترى أنا حوريكم أشياء حلوة. روح. تمام؟ خليني أكبرها. هذه القيمة 0.69 هي اللوغاريتم of 2. أنا حكتبها هنا ln of 2. يعني لكن إحنا نعرف رياضيا إنه this is how to وين صديقنا هذا رجل محترم. هذه السيري سكرين شوت. this series converges mathematically. It's a convergent series and it converges to log of 2. يعني نتيجتها هذه تساوي the natural logarithm of 2 اللي هي تقريبا ln of 2 واللي هي تقريبا وين تقريبا حتى ما تزعلوا علي 0.69. تمام. يساوي هنا يساوي. امورنا طيبه. هذه كيف نسويها بالبرمجه؟ هل حتمشي للانفينيتي؟ لا مش حتمشي للانفينيتي. هتقعد تسوي في while until the difference between un and when. يعني I'm gonna create a succession when the absolute value of Sn plus 1 minus Sn is less than epsilon. I'm gonna stop. So I'm gonna do create a new script. I can close this هذه هنا. I'm gonna create a new script and I'm gonna call it save as exercise for while. تمام. override this بما انه احنا بس while مباشرة. اوكي override this. اول قيمة عندي في السيري ايش هي؟ ايش هي القيمة اللي عندي؟ 1 صح؟ يعني أنا بالنسبة لي S1 is equal to 1 صح؟ أوكي. So I'm gonna come here and create tell. So هنا I would like to add a comment بحيث إنه لما يجي رضوان يفتح سكريبت يلقى فيه comment. So I'm gonna tell هنا like جاز إذا تبغى تسوي multi line comment باراجراف لازم تسوي triple dash like this 3 وتكتب اللي تبغاه انت هنا وتسوي انتر وتكتب كده. خلصت تريبل داش انتهى الامر. ترجع تكتب اعداد. تمام. واضحه الفكره. فانا حاجي هنا حط او if you want to write only one lane you use the جاز ايش يسموها انتم جاز شباك هاشتاج anyway hashtag I'm called it jazz because I love music in music this is the symbol for jazz and bemol so this is I'm recording no problem no I'm recording so this script objective is to obtain an approximation of the natural logarithm of 2 تمام خلاص باجي هنا وابدا اشتغل تمام يعني if I save this and I run it nothing happens by the way ولا شيء لانه ما يسوي شيء اصلا داخله كومنت صح ماشي انا عندي سيري I can define my final result as a vector or as a real value that I'm overwriting every time تمام فانا عندي S1 كم تساوي 1 فهنا هقول له عندي عداد هقول له Y وهقول له S هنا الاس النهائيه او SN تمام SN يساوي كمرحله اولى يساوي S1 صح ولا لا؟ in the first step قيمته S1 هقول له هنا Y I would like to verify something just a second I would like to verify something okay run apps 2 minus 1 apps minus 2.5 okay I would like to verify that the absolute value is by default otherwise I have to import the library mat absolute value يعني حتى لو عندك عدد complex number يلا Z1 يساوي 5 مع 3G this is a complex 5 plus 3G this is a complex number this is Z1 if you ask about the type of Z1 the type of Z1 is a complex number now if you write apps I think it's gonna work apps of Z1 it will give you the modulus of Z1 okay this is the mathematical modulus of a complex number اللي هو okay is plus 1 divided by n normally this is a convergent series and it converges to the logarithm of 2 so in order to calculate an approximated value of logarithm of natural logarithm of 2 I'm gonna create this series or succession so Sn is equal to sum of k going from 1 to n of minus 1 exponent k plus 1 divided by k and we should calculate this until the value of Sn or the absolute value of Sn plus 1 minus Sn becomes less than the epsilon given here. I tried with 10 exponent minus 6 but it takes a little bit a long time to converge especially if you print the different iterations so for that I've chosen 10 exponent minus 3 as a precision so what we're going to do is the following so we define the precision which is epsilon so it's a parameter this is my programming it cannot start like this the first guess of my series is equal to 0 S1 because it's equal to so I'm going to come back just to explain that S1 is minus 1 exponent 2 divided by 1 which is equal to 1 so I should initialize this correctly and this is n equal to 1 the difference between S1 and S0 by the way S0 can be any value different than 1 because I need to start with I need to enter to my loop with a difference like this, which is bigger than epsilon. You can choose any value here for S0, but I tried 0, which is a good initialization. So when you calculate the absolute value of S1 minus S0, this difference in absolute value is equal to 1, so it's bigger than epsilon, so we can enter to the loop. So when I enter to the loop, I increment n becomes equal to n plus 1, it becomes equal to 2. The value S1 will become in the place of S0, so it becomes Sn previous. This one will become Sn plus 1. Sn, the actual value of Sn, is equal to the previous value plus minus 1 exponent n plus 1 divided by n. Yani, what I would like to say is the following. In reality, I'm going to have to take my pen. So in reality, Sn plus 1 is equal to sum of k going from 1 to n plus 1, oops, okay, no problem, n plus 1 minus 1 exponent k plus 1 divided by k. And this is equal to Sn, okay, Sn plus minus 1 exponent n plus 2, okay, divided by n plus 1. Or you can write in a different way that Sn, if you can write it also like this, is equal to Sn minus 1 plus minus 1. It's a recurrent process. Exponent 2, oops, n plus 1 divided by n. So this, what you are what you are seeing here is what you have here. Okay, so I calculate the difference, the absolute value of Sn plus 1 minus Sn, which is in reality this value minus 1 exponent n plus 1 divided by n. And I'm trying to print it here. I'm printing the iteration, okay, the Sn and the residual, which is the difference, this difference. Okay, the residual is this difference because as you see here, this is print string format n, the iteration, the Sn, the value. Normally this Sn, this series or this succession should converge to logarithm, natural logarithm of 2, and this is the difference. So this difference should be, we leave this loop when this difference, okay, maybe no, I think here I did a mistake. Here is equal to diff. We need to change it with diff. Just a second. I'm gonna change it. Okay, hello everyone. So I would like to come back to my series. This is my series. This is an alternate series, convergent series, and mathematically, if you go to the literature, you can see that the Taylor series expansion of logarithm of 1 plus x will give you this. If you change x by 1, you obtain logarithm of 2 is equal to n sum of n going from 1 to infinity of minus 1 exponent n plus 1 divided by n. So in order to use this to find a good approximation of logarithm of 2, I'm gonna sum this value. So I created a series. This series, when n tends to infinity, it should converge to this this limit. So I took an epsilon or an error equal to 10 exponent minus 3, and I started doing this. So the idea, reality, is the following. So I take, I define my series like this: is n plus 1 equal to some kind of k of going from 1 to n plus 1 minus 1 x k plus 1 divided by k, or which is, if you expand this, you can write it equal to Sn plus minus 1 exponent n plus 2 divided by n plus 1. Or you can write also that Sn is equal to Sn minus 1 plus minus 1 exponent n plus 1 divided by n, which is used there. So I defined my epsilon, my S0 equal to 0, S1 equal to 1 simply because S1 is equal to minus 1 exponent 2 divided by 1. So it's equal to 1. For S0, you should take a value. I prefer taking 0 as an initial value, but if you want to start with a different value, it will not change anything in terms of test, but I prefer choosing 0. So the difference S1 minus 0 in the absolute value is equal to 1, and the first iteration, the first initial value is for n equal to 1. So I create a while loop. I'm gonna iterate this recurrently. So while the absolute value of this difference is n plus 1 minus Sn, or Sn minus Sn minus 1, Sn previous. I'm calling this Sn previous. While it is bigger than the error, so you will increment n. From n equal to 1, you will write that n becomes n plus 1 equal 2. And the previous value of Sn will become, you will put it here. Here you have S1, and S2 is equal to S1 plus 1 exponent minus n plus 1 divided by n. You calculate the difference, okay? And I'm printing this just to show you the result in the iterative process. And you calculate the absolute value, and you do this again until n reaches a value that permits to make your program converge. At the end, after m iterations, which is the final value of n, you converge. So now the script is like this. So you have epsilon. Okay, here I should change it to 1 exponent minus 3. S0 equal to 0, S1 equal to 1, n equal to 1. I also have written that Sn previous is equal to S0 and Sn is equal to 1. Okay, just to initialize these values here, because you should have an initial value for Sn. Okay, so this is important. Otherwise, Sn previous, if you don't initialize Sn with S1, you will not be able to calculate anything here. So that's one. S1 is equal, Sn previous is equal to S0, and Sn equal to S1. So I calculate, here, this is the difference. I calculate absolute value, n equal to n plus 1, Sn previous equal to Sn. And here Sn equal to plus minus 1 exponent n plus 1. So I use the function power divided by n. The difference, absolute value, printing, and finally the results, the final results. Okay. Now this is what we should do. I'm gonna show you now what I did. I'm gonna run the script to show you the result. So this is my script. Okay. So as I said here, I'm gonna write 1 exponent minus 3. I can add a command. So this I can add a hashtag or ds, and I write here, for example, the precision of calculation. Okay. I can do a certain enter here. For example, this is S0. I can add a lot of commands. Okay. So I would like to run my program. Just as you see, I'm gonna print all the iteration and the final result. Okay. Now run this module. Okay. Now I'm iterating and until I reach. So this is the residual, as you see, until I reach the final. Oops. I think. Oh, what's going on? Let me repeat this again. Okay. That's why it is better to use another IDE, okay? Because the idle sometimes bugs. So as you see, this is logarithm of 2 calculated using Python. And by the way, even in Python, you have the library, the mathematical library that can give. But I would like to copy this. I go to my Excel just to verify. So this is the result obtained by our calculations. Okay. Now, if I use the mathematics, the Excel, so the logarithms is equal to ln, okay, ln of 2, and the result is, as you see, I'm gonna line it like this and enlarge a little bit just to see. So this is the 06936, 06931. So as you see, you have the precision is equal to the precision given by. If you change epsilon, you can obtain. This is the correct or the accurate value, and this one is the one obtained by calculation. As you see, you have 3 digits of precision. What I would like to say also, yes, if now if I can comment the print here and rerun my program again. I'm gonna close this. These are the iteration. Okay, okay. I'm gonna run this again. It will not print this. So I'm gonna run. Okay, and you have your result. This is your result. Okay, so this is the result I have copied here. Okay, this is the result copied here, and I can copy paste the property just to be more visible. So if you want something more accurate, you should increase the precision. So if I increase the precision and run my program again, the result restart. This is my result in this case, 10 with an error 10 exponent minus 6. So this is the precision. Okay, you can copy paste the properties. As you see, you have 0693147 47 بعدين هنا 10 exponent minus 6 يعني after 6 digits you have you don't have the same result. Now this is what I would like to show you. Now I'm gonna send you a list of exercises and you can do them on the basis of this. And by the way, now, just last thing before I leave you, the good news that in Python, you don't need to, for the classical functions, if you want to calculate logarithm, natural logarithm of 2, or etc., it's easy. You can import, you say import math, for example, as M, okay, and or as you can import it like this, or you can say import math. Now, if you want to calculate the logarithm of 2, okay, you say math dot, and you do this, and you have all the functions. You want the logarithm? You will find it somewhere here. Wait, this is your logarithm, okay? You have different types of logarithm. This is your logarithm, and the logarithm of 2, and this is the logarithm of 2. This is when you import the library math. Okay, so you can put it here. Okay, so this is your result. Can increase it and put it in blue, but it's the same thing. Okay, thank you and bye bye.